Yeah, so it's if I watch enough Wes Watson videos, his real crime was bullying outside his race, right? You're supposed to keep that stuff in your own race, right?
Yeah,
Wrong?
that's why they greenlit him to
Mm.
have him attacked.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He was violating the rules, yeah.
Hmm. So
So
yeah, do
by
fine in
rule of
prison. I
that,
know
you
the
just
rules.
mean like if you're gonna fuck with someone and you're in the Aryan gang, not like the head honcho guy, you fuck with other Aryans. You don't go mess with the cholos or
Okay.
whatever you said the other
Okay,
one.
the deal is this. They want to keep the drugs business running. They want harmony to an extent. Now, if two black guys have got a beef, go under the stairs, squash the beef. Two white guys have got a beef, go under the stairs, squash the beef. Black guy and white guy, same thing, go under the stairs, squash the beef. They don't want it igniting into a race riot. If you've got issues within your race, you go to your head, and the head makes the decision according to the convict code. So what was happening was multiple people who were getting bullied by SmackDown were going to their individual heads and saying, look, this guy's doing this to me. This guy's doing that to me. It's going against, the racial conduct. Is something going to happen about this guy? And so many people went to so many heads that the heads got together and they decided to end it by sending the 3 torpedoes in.
Okay. You mentioned just then the convict code. Now I'm sure you've gone over some of that, a lot of rules thus far just in this conversation. What's some of those kind of or bits of that code that those of us who've never been to maximum security prison would have no idea or maybe not expect?
So you guys are probably hip to a lot of it already, like snitches get stitches, sex offenders, the chomos, they're going to get stabbed up, KOS, kill on sight. Some offenses are SOS, smash on sight. So, for example, drive-by shootings. If a woman and kids get hit, especially in drive-by shootings, that happens a lot. They don't like that at all. The gang members, the heads. So you're going to get a beat down at least for a drive-by shooting. If you know a guard from the streets, maybe you went to the same school, you knew a guard from something, keep it to yourself because that will get exploited. If you start chatting to the guard, you're through because they're going to think you're snitching or you're grassing someone out. In England, they say grass means snitch. I know a lot of Americans don't understand that. Grassing someone out means snitching someone. So, showering, bad hygiene. The guy who was in the shootout, the drive-by, who the girl's nipple had come off, that guy, like I said, he was this huge guy, like 300 pounds, and he was sweating constantly, and it was stinking a bit. So the gang, the Chicanos, got together and had a meeting about him, a hygiene meeting. And they were either going to beat him up and make him roll up, just end the problem right there. But they allowed him to stay on the grounds that he had a shower every couple of hours and coated his skin in baby powder after every shower.
So that guy must have spelled ripe every couple hours.
They had to have a meeting to deal with
Man, this is fucking getting gross, man.
So we know you can't snitch, right? Can you get away with dry snitching? So I watch these prison YouTube video genres, right? And an example of dry snitching, right? Maybe you beat me up, and then I'm all bruised and marked up. I go to the cafeteria and eat, right? That's my way of letting people know that shit went down, and maybe that's a way of telling on you without ever doing it. Do people get away with dry snitching at all, or is that stuff?
I'll give you a story from Two Tony's book. So Two Tony's, he was in decades before me, in the 70s and the 80s. And there was a young prisoner that he was talking to regularly and he became friends with. And the guy only had a year left. He was going to get released. But the guy idolized the Aryan Brotherhood. He was rising up and he wanted to earn his stripes. So they gave him a piece of metal and they said, do a number on this guy and you'll be a full patched in member. And he dropped the metal, where the guards could see it, and didn't do the hit. And the Two Tonys went to the shot caller and said, he's only got a year left, blah blah blah. And the guy said, "We got to make an example. It's a done deal. Back away." And Two Tonys knew then if he backed this guy up anymore, he would be hit next. So he backed away. And he said he was on the rec yard, and he just talked to the kid. And the kid said, "Well, hey, fix me up with the fellas. I'm going to go and walk the yard with this guy." And the guy was, the guy who was the shot caller who had already put the green light. And Two Tonys saw the torpedoes, the probates digging up the shanks on the rec field. And the guy's got his arm around, like the youngster telling him, "You're going to be all right." And then they just come up and did the hit. And he said, yeah, and it really affected Two Tonys. And he said, it made him want to help people later on in his life. Two Tonys was released from that sentence. And the guy who was responsible for that hit, he ends up showing up at Two Tonys' house when he got released. And Two Tonys helped him out because they were all clicked up, these Aryan Brotherhood guys. But then the guy started to take over Two Tonys' house. He moved the crystal meth chemist in. And Two Tonys knew this guy was going to kill him. So Two Tonys said, "Look, let's go and do this robbery in Flagstaff," I think it was. And he's driving up there with him, and he knows, they've got a gun and they're going to take him out. Two Tonys gets out of the car at a gas station, just turns around at the window and just fucking shoots the guy and kills him. So he did kill the guy eventually.
Wow.
So
yeah,
they put a hit on that young guy with only a year left.
Yeah.
I'm naively still hoping a hit means he got like a black eye.
No, he's dead.
He's dead. He's dead, huh?
Shanked in the femoral artery and shanked in the chest plate.
And he didn't survive that.
That's the quickest way to go. They'll get your heart and they'll get your femoral artery